Hi, welcome to Story Time with Gigi. Today we're reading a story called Peter Rabbit, the Giant Pumpkin. Here's a map of the woods. Okay, this is a map of the woods where I live. You can see who else lives here too. It's in my dad's journal, which I always have with me. Okay. My mom, Mrs. Rabbit, to you, she's definitely the best mom ever. Cottontail is my littlest sister and the cheekiest. Benjamin Bunny is my cousin. Wherever we go, he's right behind me, usually hiding. My friend, Lily Bobtail, whatever the problem, she's got the answer. This is Mr. Todd. Foxes eat rabbits. Need I say more? It was a warm autumn morning, and Peter, Lily, and Benjamin were very excited. Hooray! It's Pumpkin Day, cheered Benjamin. A table outside Peter's burrow was piled high with tasty goodies, but something was missing. Where's the pumpkin? Said Lily. Don't worry, replied Peter. I know just where to find one. Let's hop to it. Peter's little sister, Cottontail, followed the friends all the way to Mr. McGregor's garden. There was the perfect pumpkin, but the farmer's cat was snoozing beside it. Quietly, whispered Peter, as the friends pushed and pulled the giant pumpkin. But try as they might, they couldn't make it budge. And this, I believe, is coming from Beatrix Potter's character. Peter scratched his head. Lily, have you got any rope? He asked. Lily reached into her just-in-case pocket. Let me see, she said. Feather? No. Ah, here it is. Peter tied one end of the rope around the pumpkin and the other around the sleeping cat. Careful, Peter, said Benjamin, trembling. Peter blew a loud raspberry. The cat woke up and lunged wildly at Peter. Meow! Push, yelled Peter to his friends as the angry animal strained against the rope. Suddenly, the rope snapped. The cat tumbled forward past the bunnies and dashed into the house. What's gotten into you? Mr. McGregor asked as the cat scrambled past. Shiny pages. The bunnies hid as Mr. McGregor picked up their perfect pumpkin and carried it to the garden table. He's cutting it up, gasped Peter. He just scooped the insides out, whispered Lily. It'll be lighter now, I know that for a fact. But how do we get it down from the table? Peter wondered as the farmer carried a bowl full of pumpkin back to the house. Then the pumpkin began to wobble and bump. It fell from the table and began to roll. Peter, Benjamin, and Lily heard a familiar giggle coming from inside. Cottontail, they cried, chasing after the pumpkin. The friends jumped aboard the speeding pumpkin as it bowled down the garden path and out the gate. The pumpkin rolled faster and faster. As it reached the woods, it hit a bump, and Peter and Lily were bounced out, leaving Cottontail and Benjamin spinning helplessly inside. It's never going to stop, Lily gasped, watching it roll away. A good rabbit never gives up, Peter reminded her. Do you have any more rope? Peter and Lily dashed ahead. Lily tied a line of rope between two trees. As the pumpkin hit the rope, it slowed down and stopped at last. Peter and Lily jumped inside. Now let's roll this pumpkin right back to the burrow, cried Peter. Everyone push! But the pumpkin didn't move. As Peter stuck his head out to see what was wrong, he came face to face with Mr. Todd. Rabbit and pumpkin pie for dinner, laughed the fox. My favorite. This is bad. This is very bad, said Benjamin. Lily, do you still have that feather? Whispered Peter. Lily pulled the feather from her pocket and handed it to Peter. Peter tickled the fox's nose. Chew! Mr. Todd sneezed, losing his grip and catapulting the pumpkin back through the woods toward Peter's burrow. Woohoo! Yay! Whooped the bunnies excitedly as they zoomed along. As the speeding pumpkin approached Peter's burrow, it promptly crashed to a halt and the bunnies all tumbled out. What's all this commotion? Asked Mrs. Rabbit, appearing from the burrow. We're sorry, Benjamin replied. Our pumpkin didn't have any brakes. What a perfect pumpkin, exclaimed Peter's mom, laughing. And just in time for our Pumpkin Day party. As family and friends ate a delicious autumn feast, Peter grinned at Benjamin and Lily. Next year, we'll get a really big one. And this is On the Move. Let's read this. Using the cat to move the pumpkin was a brilliant plan. It's a shame it didn't work. Here are some more ways to move a heavy pumpkin. So there's a pulley, a winch to lift it over large objects, the giant pumpkin, and the rope to pull it. Roll it along on sticks, works well on flat surfaces. Float it on a raft across water. Ramp for rolling it over rough surfaces with a plank. Pumpkin party time. Peter, Lily, Benjamin, and Cottontail had so much fun rolling the giant pumpkin home for Pumpkin Day, even though they didn't know how to stop it. Ask an adult to help you make a Pumpkin Day lantern, and you don't have to use a giant pumpkin, but big ones are best. Scoop out the flesh of the pumpkin, draw a funny face on the outside, cut out the face, and put a candle inside. Use your lantern to light up your own Pumpkin Day party. And of course, they're talking about making a jack-o'-lantern. And that's our story. This series is seen on Nickelodeon, and it's based on the characters created by Beatrix Potter. I hope you liked it. Make sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends. Bye until next time.